Hello and welcome back to the Talking Wolves podcast. I am your host, Matt Cooper, and today we're joined by the full squad. We're back as a foursome, as feels like the first time in absolutely ages. I'll start with Dave. How you doing, mate?
Very well, thank you, mate. Good weekend. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Finn, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, all good, thank you as well. Good to be back. I think I was watching Ant-Man, wasn't I, last week in an attempt, because they were fixing my Wi-Fi at home. Sorry, everyone, for being absent. I think it's fixed now, but a few times you have sounded like a Dalek. But we'll see how this goes. I think we're all good, but yeah, happy to be here again.
You are sticking a little bit on my screen, but I can still hear you, so that's the most important thing.
Face for radio, they said anyway. So
exactly. And of course, you're joined by Jord. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Have you got a t-shirt underneath that?
Yeah, t-shirt. It's a little bit cold, to be honest with you, in this back room. So just put the body warmer on.
Have you put some sleeves on?
It would, to be fair. I just literally put this on and jumped on the camera. So we'll go with it anyway.
Is that golfing attire or?
No, it's gym attire actually. So yeah, it's yeah, exactly. Tied to my radiator.
That's a good one.
No, so gym attire. I actually put it on the golf course, to be fair. It's a nice little number, Christmas number. So there you go.
You are partial to a round of golf, aren't you, Jord?
A few rounds of golf, yeah, when I can get there, when I can get round. But life gets in the way, unfortunately. I'm a busy man, mate. Busy man.
We know, because you barely turn up for this podcast anymore. I'm only messing. It's good to have you all back anyway. It's good to have you all back. I think it's best if we start with the Fulham game on Saturday, lads. Friday even. Fulham 1, Wolves 1. And Dave, first half was excellent, wasn't it? Probably the best half we've played under Lopetegui, maybe?
Yeah, it was convincing. We had full control of the game. Really surprised me. I thought, being away from home, be interesting to see how we start. But we came out the blocks really well, and Fulham didn't get a sniff really first half. Possibly should have scored another one. If we could have gone into half time with another goal, that would have been solid. But I think the key thing is, and I'm sure we'll talk about it in a little bit more detail, is obviously bringing in a proper number 9. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to Cunha, but an actual hold-up player almost in Raul. So, but yeah, really convincing first half. Great goal, well worked. Solid first half.
Finn, how did you see it, mate? Did you make the trip down to Fulham?
Yeah, saw it from very, very low down. We were on row F, I think. So yeah, 6th row. Couldn't really see much. It does. I know it's like every time you go low down, you think, oh, how do they do it when they see it like this? Because I'm used to being up high, so I had that old novelty again of appreciating football, I think, a bit more when it's so fast-paced and you're down there. But had a decent view. It's a nice little ground, really, really quiet. The new bit looks nice, and they obviously haven't filled it all out yet, and I couldn't see the swimming pool. But no complaints. So yeah, it was a nice, decent little ground. But yeah.
I saw that Fulham fan trolling on Twitter about Wolves not selling out.
Well.
Did you? What did you say?
I just thought he was actually just an absolute idiot. So I like being serious. So I bit, but it took him about 24 hours to respond to me. So I just ignored him in the end. He was just trying to be relevant, wasn't he? So
I think any team who sells out the quadrant doesn't really get to have a say in the matter. If you're like a Leeds United or a Man United or a Newcastle United who bring 3,000 to every away game at Molineux for the last, 20 years, and you've got the likes of Fulham and Bournemouth who, barely sell out the quadrant. You can't really throw shade, really, can you? But Jord, first half, impressive.
Extremely impressive. I thought it was sort of what we've been crying out for, a little bit of a focal point up front. And I think we've all written Raul off to some extent on this podcast. Nowhere near as bad as he has been on social media, but that's probably, for me, that was his best performance, probably post-injury, complete performance. I thought he was excellent. I think we could get the sombreros out and get the stickers back out because I think he's here to stay. But no, that's sort of what we've all been crying for, like actually a focal point, someone for Cunha to play off. And that first half was near perfect, especially, away performance in the Premier League, nullified the crowd, dominated possession, like absolutely battered them. It was very much like, reminded me a little bit of the Villa away performance under Lopetegui as well, where you talk about first halves and performances under Lopetegui. complete control. I think our play merited more goals. I don't think we really tested Leno enough across the 90, full stop. But our dominance, we should have been a couple ahead at half time for me. And we went on to rue the fact that we weren't, I think, by the end of the game.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Sarabia goal now, Dave. Maybe silence a few unjust critics. I know there's only been a few people on Twitter and whatnot saying they're not really sure what he does, but had a good chances before. But good to see him on the score sheet, and good to see us creating from a well worked move.
It was a fantastic move, not just the immediate ball in and Raul's, knocked down, the whole move, the way we kept the ball, the way we moved the ball really quickly. Thought Semedo was pivotal in a couple of those early attacking moves as well. He took the goal really well, but the ball in from Núñez was nice. The knockdown from Raul was brilliant. I think that was one of Sarabia's best games so far in a Wolves shirt. People have had concerns about him, like you said, but in terms of us creating chances, he's been pivotal in recent games. So long may it continue. Hopefully, he's going to carry on having that impact. But it's a really well taken goal, well deserved goal as well.
I don't think any Wolves player since he's come in has created as many chances as Sarabia. So that
I think the issue with him was, especially in the Bournemouth game, I felt there was a couple of times where we could have attacked a bit quicker, and whether his mistakes or whether sort of his pace on or off the ball slowed us down a little bit. And I think that's what frustrated people. But you're always going to nitpick when you lose games. But I think, again, he silenced a lot of people after his performance on Friday.
Yeah, I thought he played really well. And Finn, you'll be happy with the Raul performance, won't you? Because it means ad revenue from YouTube.
Not necessarily. With the Mexican stuff, they've sort of turned on him, haven't they? Like since the World Cup, there was that whole thing with Raul, like they were really angry that he was almost taking up a space of someone else when he wasn't fully fit. So it is strange. Yeah, you're either hero or villain, it seems. But he's still on my wall back. It's flipped, isn't it? Back there.
What did they say? Either die a hero or live long enough to be the villain. Is that
it? Well, God, he nearly did in his case. So let's all be thankful, I think, that he's still here. So, no, it's true, isn't it? He nearly
it is true, but that wasn't what I was getting at. But thanks for that.
I don't think you could have picked a better metaphor.
But
it literally is. So yeah, grateful to see him on a pitch. It was a good. It was a very good assist from where I was. You're almost looking through 20 odd bodies on the pitch to see the goal. And equally with that first chance, I thought he had to score Sarabia. I don't know whether it was actually as good as I thought, but as a man who had him in his FPL and his BetMate team, I was very happy to see him take that second one. And I think Dave's right. And in general, with Sarabia, it's almost like I don't think he's going to massively endear himself to the fans, but he's very constant. Like I noticed in the Southampton game when everyone was losing their heads, all the players, he was the one going, calm down. And I think he's just going to it's not going to be ups and downs. And you may see that he's more of a flair player, isn't he? So with the performance, but he doesn't seem to go too mental, get too down. So he's going to be a really key addition for the next few years, I think. And getting that first goal is only going to help things.
Yeah, to be fair, the Bournemouth game, he was losing his head though a little bit. But he's an experienced pro, isn't he? And you are gonna get that consistency. I think his problem is that he's not as explosive as like wire players that we've got now. I think he's a cute player. I think he's very intelligent, but because he doesn't go and beat 2 or 3 men, then fans think that they're not doing anything. But Jord probably should have put the game to bed in the first half, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we should have, but again, we just didn't. Same old story and adage of it has been for a long time now at Wolves. We just didn't create enough chances, did we? Or clear-cut chances, and we didn't test Leno. I can't remember for the full 90 Leno making a save, or a save of note anyway, to be quite honest. So, we dominated the ball. It was a very dominant, first half performance. Probably, arguably our best 45 minutes all season. Like I say, Villa away was one. Forest away, Spurs away was another one, which was really dominant. And again, like you go back to misread chances. Out of those 3 games, picked up 2 points, and that's the problem. That's why we are down the bottom of the league.
Dave, second half, we knew that Fulham would come out and be a different beast, but we disappointed in the way that the game unravelled. I think the Cunha injury was a bit of a turning point, not because it came off, but I felt like it just completely changed the dynamics of the game.
Yeah, it killed our momentum a little bit. You know, I wasn't expecting us to continue playing the full free-flowing attacking football in the second half. You knew, in the position that we're in, and you go in at half-time with a lead, that you're going to take your foot off the gas a little bit and sit back a little bit more. And I didn't feel like Fulham offered a huge amount. Obviously, Sarr had to make a couple of half-decent stops, but, I thought we restricted them to very little, to be honest. But we just lost anything going forward. Like Jord said, we didn't create a huge amount of clear-cut chances in the first half, but there was absolutely nothing. I think Lopetegui had the right ideas with the subs that he brought on. He had the right intentions, but once again, Podence, Costa, Adama, just almost anonymous when they came off the bench, which was pretty frustrating. But yeah, I mean, their goals, something out of nothing. You could nitpick at certain individuals, but I knew as soon as it left his boot, the shot was absolutely perfect. And difficult for Sarr to see, I think, because there was a couple of bodies in front of him, but the bend, the position of the effort was brilliant. And obviously, it's sod's law because he was in my bet, mate, and I took him out because he didn't start. So, but yeah, Manor Solomon on a good bit of form at the minute, but it's a great finish, to be fair.
It is. He just used the centre half as a guide, didn't he, to bend it round? It was a fantastic finish. It's one of those just for me. Hold your hand.
He's half Portuguese as well, I think.
Is he?
I think so.
Is he on loan from Shakhtar?
It's a weird situation.
Yeah.
I think.
I think he's pretty much theirs, isn't he?
Yeah,
I think he's pretty much Fulham's.
I think they have to agree a deal with Shakhtar in the summer, but it's because of the whole Ukrainian thing. That's why they got him. So yeah,
it's strange, isn't it? He looks a good player, though. Looks a really good player,
tidy, man. Yeah.
But could you say Semedo didn't cover the ground quick enough? But I think he'd been uber critical there. But let's speak about the fullbacks, Finn. And I mean, Hugo Bueno got man of the match. Carragher was singing his praises after the game for Sky Sports. But I thought him and Semedo had a fantastic game.
Yeah, it's a shame Sky Sports man of the match didn't count for FPL points as well because I had Bueno as well. But we move. I think they were very good. I think that one sort of blot on Semedo's copybook is the only real foot he put wrong. I think talking about the Fulham crowd, Solomon was the only one that sort of sparked them into life. They were silent first half, and then second half, every time he got the ball, it's funny to see the far side, just everyone get up. So to deal with that and for him to have a good start and then recover against Solomon, I thought Semedo was brilliant. Bueno, I probably wouldn't have gone as far as man of the match, but he was impressive. I think there was a few good crosses late on that, I mean, with a better striker, so he'd probably have an assist to his name again for FPL points. But no, solid performances. They've got decent wingers. I thought Dickwood over Reed did well first half as well, and we dealt with him quite well. Willian didn't see anything, and you've seen the goals he's been scoring in recent weeks. We've kept him really quiet. So yeah, full praise to them. It's felt like a long time since we've praised the fullbacks like as a whole, but yeah, it's really promising.
George, you think that Bueno's made that left back position his own, or do you still think that he could be 50-50 with Aït-Nouri?
I think it's I think he's up for debate still, to be honest with you. I think they're both very talented footballers. We've probably got, in terms of depth at left back, there'll be teams in the league screaming out for one of them, even in around the top six.
And Ryan Giles, mate.
And Ryan Giles, yeah. There you go. So no, I think we're quite lucky to have them both. I'll be honest with you, I still don't know who the better one out of the two is. If I'm being completely honest with you, I think you watch Bueno put performance in like that, you think Bueno, then Aït-Nouri comes in the team and has a good game, and then you're just like, well, what's going on? I mean, it's a good headache to have if you're Lopetegui, because that's one thing that we've not really had for a long time is strength and depth in certain areas. It's a shame it's left back and not striker, to be honest.
I mean, we praise Raul, and like you said, it's probably one of his better games that he's had. But another player for me who has come in for criticism in recent times, and I've been one of those people who's criticised him, is Jose Sarr. And I feel like the last 2, 3, maybe 4 games, Dave, he's quietly gone about his business and has kept us in the game. And that save against Vinicius, yes, Dawson should get up better, but it's an unbelievable save in the dying embers of the game.
Yeah, I think it's ever since
City.
Yeah, so what was the first game since then? Liverpool, so 4 games ago. But what I think a big part of it is now our almost not relying on him with the ball at his feet. We've stopped that now. I think, yes, we are still trying to play out at the back, but I think we almost sort of know Sarr's, weaknesses and strengths and weaknesses. It's obviously a conversation we had on the pod in and around that sort of time. So I think that's one of the things, we've relied on him less with his feet, and he just let the goalkeeping do the talking. He's made a couple of great saves, made a couple of good stops. Against Southampton, there was one where Kilman had, with the pull back pass, it was a good save there. And like you said, he made one or two decent stops. I thought the one in the first half was really good, where his body was like the completely wrong position and still managed to hold on to one of Vinicius's headers towards the end of the first half.
Great save.
The diving stop towards the end was a huge save, and we deserved the point for that alone, I think.
I don't know what it is about Portuguese keepers. He might just be the two that we've had, but they just can't kick a ball, can they? I don't know if that Diogo Costa's any better. I know he had a bit of a stinker at the World Cup, didn't he? But
yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
About Mana Solomon, sorry, before someone corrects me, he's not actually half Portuguese. He's got a Portuguese passport because he is of Sephardic Jewish descent. If anyone knows what that means. So.
What league do they play?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you learn something new every day. Finn, another player who's come in and really kind of revolutionised the away, not only allows himself to play, but others to play, in Mario Lemina. I thought he was unbelievable against Fulham as well. I know he obviously got the red card against Southampton for running aggressively. Wasn't so much aggressive running, but very progressive in his running.
Yeah, well, and just on that, every time three Fulham players were around the ref, I don't know that it came on the TV, came through. But Wolves fans, every time, if that was us, you'd send him off. So I don't know whether that's going to carry on. But there were a few, to be fair. But no, as you say, a little bit more clever with his running, sort of at Fulham players instead of jogging towards the referee. And I mean, we've raved about Polina, haven't we? And I thought he gave as good as he got with him. And it just makes such a difference. He's sort of doing a sort of Premier League tribute tour, isn't he? Having to go up against his two former teams in those first two away games. And I think they've, maybe more Fulham than Southampton, but they've seen what they're missing there. I didn't think he'd be as good as he has been, if you know what I mean. But he's allowed Neves to flourish a bit more, maybe Nunes to get a little bit worse. But I suppose we can see that in the next few games. But that's no fault of his own. Great signing. How old is he? Is he touching 30?
29.
29. So still a good few years in him, and brilliant so far.
Dynamic is the word, I think, Jord.
You said it, not me. Yeah. He gets around the pitch quite well, doesn't he? To be fair to him,
he's excellent.
It covers every blade of grass, as the commentators would like to say as well. No, he's great. He sort of gives us legs and the mobility that we've lacked at times in our midfield 3 or 2 in the Premier League, with Neves and Moutinho not exactly being 100-metre sprinters. So it's just good that we've got someone who can do that role for us. And I think the way that he plays frees Neves up another 20 yards further up the pitch. And we're starting to see the benefit now. Neves playing a little bit more advanced. He's getting in the box, late runs and stuff, which, to be honest with you, I don't think anyone even thought had that part to his game. But I mean, he had a header in the first half. He just sent wide, didn't he? I think Neves as well. So, but having Lemina in there's just sort of freed Neves up a bit more and get involved in the game a bit. So, he's like Finn said, he's sort of surpassed everything I thought he would be. I thought he was a decent player. I didn't think he was as good as what we've got until I've seen it. So just long may it continue. What
was the fee, Dave? Around 10 million, was it?
Bit less than that, I think, but in and around that sort of fee. But excellent. It's still early days, but he's added exactly what we need. I think he's added, similar impact to the midfield to what Boubacar Traoré had, and I've said it the last couple of weeks. I think we haven't quite seen Nunes, Neves, and Boubacar Traoré as much as we would have wanted to, but Lemina's come in and just been brilliant so far. So long may it continue. I think if he started against Bournemouth, we could have easily won last week.
Do you think a midfield 3 of Neves, Boubacar, and Lemina could work?
It could do, because I think Boubacar still offers that sort of almost box to box type. And
he can finish. We've seen it.
Yeah, but I think he can drive forward well with the ball. Very difficult to tackle at times, so I think he could easily offer that. Are you preempting next season, maybe, or?
I'm preempting in a couple of weeks, to be honest. Nunes has flattered to deceive.
You know what? I want to see Mateus Nunes on one of the AB skills videos where he puts the bottle on the floor. Can you hit this bottle?
Yeah.
See if you can do it. Yeah.
We've got a cow's arse here and a banjo. Can you have a go at this? I've just been on a Liverpool preview to Cup TV, and I'm like, what's Nunes like? I'm like, I don't even know. I honestly don't know.
You can tell there's a fantastic footballer there, but
he's so good, but he's so bad at the same time. He does. He just can't pass the football.
It just feels like everything he's good at is natural. And when we signed him, there was I think I said on the podcast where it was
just an athlete.
Bakery 5 years ago or whatever. You can tell he's only like learning the basics of passing now, and everything he's just been able to do. But it is strange, and it probably does make sense if he wasn't really playing 5 years.
I was hoping for a couple of worldies as well by now.
Yeah, his last game wasn't it? Was a worldie before he joined, but he seemed to have used them all up.
He's got like the pro clubs build of putting everything on pace and dribbling, and like he's got no trait points left now to put on passing. But he's
a decent cross though. To be fair, wasn't it? For
a brilliant ball. Yeah.
I don't think he played that badly against Fulham, but just on the whole, he's to
be fair, his passing's been a lot better. This last week he was a lot better. I thought Bournemouth's the one we had a bit of a stinker, but Fulham it was a lot better. Yeah.
But as Joe said on the last podcast, he's worth about £15 million now just because of his. I
never said that. You're trying to get me. I never said that. All I said was there's a conversation to be had very soon. And again, I still think there is. Like, we never signed him as a left winger, did we? He's not a left winger. Well, I know football's a lot fluid now, and it's not like Mike Bassett sticking your position, but he's not a left-sided midfielder, in my opinion. So. I think there's an argument to say probably not in our... Well, there's an argument to say you won't pick him in our best 11 right now. I think if you pick it, I don't know.
If you go how everyone wants to go 4-4-2, then you probably... Or 4-2-3-1, he doesn't play. Or does he play on the left? He's one of those, isn't it? Like, he's been quite underwhelming, but you probably wouldn't take him out of the team. It's weird. Like, you can see he's such a good player there, but then, like, he's so frustrating in equal amounts. But... talking of frustration in equal amounts, I thought that Podence and Costa, Jord, when they came on, they didn't really offer much, did they?
I said it last week on the podcast. Podence, after he's come back from an injury, he's absolutely terrible. Honestly, he should just. I don't know what it is. Like I said, the West Brom game in lockdown, I watched him thinking, "What the fuck are you doing?" Last week against Bournemouth, I was like, "This guy don't know how to kick a football." Against Fulham, he did everything other than actually pass to a teammate. Like, he was our player of the month in January, and rightly so, by the way. He was brilliant, and like he has these knocks. I mean, he's made out of poppadoms for one, and he comes back, and then I don't know what it is. It's just I don't know. He needs to play like soft play, doesn't he, or something with like kids. He needs to get like banks or like Go Kids Go and play like indoor football.
Go Kids Go, man.
Just like rubber. Like I don't know what he needs to do. Like he's just not fit, is he? Or it takes him. If he's fit, it always seems to take him a long time to get back to any sort of sharpness, which I don't get.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, with this much data, if it was on a graph, it'd almost be. Well, this is bad for a podcast, so I'll just speak it instead of doing my hand. But it's almost like he's awful, gets better and better and better. So for the listeners, the graph is going up, and then gets injured at that highest point, straight down to the bottom. Then he's got to warm up for another 10, gets injured. And I think with 3 seasons now. 3 or 4 seasons deep, I think we've got enough to say that's how it seems to go, and it's really unfortunate for him. But at his peak, he's like first name on the team sheet, isn't he? And then with currently his last name on the bench.
Honestly, watching him against Fulham, if you'd have say, right, you can have £100 bet whether he can do 10 kick-ups or not, this guy, I'd say no. He honestly just seems to lose all ability. When he comes back from injury, he's just so bad. I don't know what it is. So bad.
Dave, do you think they'll give him a new contract? He's out of contract at the end of next season, isn't he?
I think he'll go in the summer. I don't think he'll be on this summer. I think I've been talking about it. I did a video actually about it today, and I think Jimenez will be gone, Costa will be gone, and Podence. They're the 3 big ones I think will be gone, alongside one of the midfielders. Obviously, Matinho as well.
It'll be right clear out, isn't it? How about Adama?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think he's the only one that I'm umming and ahhing about. Yeah. So.
Well, Napoli are meant to be monitoring him, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very heavily interested. It just keeps being recycled, that story, by different Italian journalists. But Yeah, Dharma, I'm not sure about, but yeah, I think Pedence will go in the summer. Don't know where to, what sort. I think he's still playing at a great level, but I think that, like Finn, you've said there, that has been his issue: consistency in performances. And he had a little, when he gets a really good run in the team, he's a very good footballer. But I think it was towards, was it the end of Nuno's tenure or the end of last season where I think it might be the end of Nuno's where he picked up a couple of knocks and it just killed all of his momentum. So frustrating.
Yeah, I can't see Adama playing much for Napoli though. Not with Kvaratskhelia and Lozano.
I think they're going to get rid of Lozano in summer. I think they're getting rid of Lozano.
He's got a year and a half left on his deal. But...
yeah, that might be why. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe.
It's talking Napoli.
Moving on to the BetMate pot though, and it was a very, very fruitful weekend for at least three of us. So big shout out to Dambert, who won £150 and finished first. But Finley Morris came second by 1 point, won 75.
First time for everything.
How'd you feel, mate? What have we spent it on?
You know what? I'd completely forgot. I must have done it about a week before. And then put Captain Sarabia. I wouldn't even be able to tell you what my team was now. And then I thought once we got to the ground, I thought, right, I must do my bet, mate. And then, to be fair, I got into the ground and someone tried to fight me and then I got all flustered and then the game started. What? And then I was like, and then literally, but I'm so grateful it did because I would have changed it all. And now,
you just skipped the whole story there, though, Finn. Why did someone try to fight you?
Just because like I'm on a screen or something. I don't know. But then I got out of that, but I don't know. Because it's mixed, isn't it? That bit where you drink. So I couldn't tell. But yeah, thank you to that bloke because I won some money.
So, I mean, let's just finish the bet, mate, before we go on to your
no, it doesn't need it.
Fourth round stoppage in the fan park.
Nothing happened.
No, well, we're going to find out. So, I actually came fifth, winning £18.25, which is I haven't came in the place pots, paid pots for a little while. And Jord, who's normally high flying, came 29th, winning £1.66.
That's some orgy in it. That 29th coming 29th. Some
orgy. Jord's about £4 off winning £1 million out of bet, mate. So he's slowly but surely getting there. And Dave narrowly missed out on the paid places. But have we ever all finished in paid places?
Possibly, but never got big wins.
We've all finished together, but not on bet, mate.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I didn't come at all, so I'll be crap at soggy biscuit. Yeah.
Finn, what? So did someone try to smack you?
Yeah, it was weird. It was really strange. It was more my mum would have probably gone back to him than me because she's from Blackpool. But no, yeah, it was. You know, I don't know if you've been to Fulham, but it's sort of you do your ticket and then that whole stand mix all together.
It's not mixed anymore, though. It's not a neutral end.
No, but as in like where you get a drink. Yeah, where you get. So you have to it's really strange.
Setup.
Yeah, what'd you say, Dave?
That's a weird setup.
Yeah,
really strange. So you have to walk down to the end, and it was sort of in that area where you filter it. There was like a few Wolves, a few Fulham, and I was just going to the toilet. But I think I was walking past someone and accidentally bumped into them. And went, oh, sorry. And then one of the other mates was like, oh, you fucking, you flipping this and flipping that. And then I just, I pulled my mother away and and go to the toilet. But then literally, and then I was a bit flustered and then the game started and then you text me saying you're second in the bet, mate. I completely forgot I'd done it. So
I hate people like that. Just like start grief over nothing.
It was, it's probably similar like to the one early on, Dave. Remember the one at Leicester? It was similar thing. It just sort of throws you off a bit, doesn't it? But it's all right.
What did he mention because you were a vlogger?
Yeah.
Oh, he did. So he knew he's a Wolves fan then.
Yeah, but with a really southern accent. So I don't know.
Oh, there's a few. Freddie Evans probably.
you gotta be chucking names out.
Joey Paul.
Yeah, that's definitely
Joey listens. So.
That's a shame, though, mate. It's a shame that happened.
Yeah, really.
So it comes with it, doesn't it? Comes with it.
Don't worry, Finn. Happens at Liverpool. I'll be there, mate. Don't worry. I'll sort it out.
Exactly. Yeah, he won't have both. He won't be able to have both.
No, exactly. Oh well, mate. Well, I hope you're all right. It's a shame that happened, but
I see it as insurance money. So thank you, bet, mate. It's it's worked out all right.
Oh well. The games are coming thick and fast now, though, aren't they, lads? We've got Liverpool Wednesday up at Anfield. Jord will be sitting in the away end for once.
We've got one dig a week at least.
Literally.
Yeah.
No, it's only because Jord bites the most. Jord is a Wolves fan, but there was a couple of rumours.
I wasn't even.
Hang on, you're even
mine.
like. Look, you're even like. There's I don't even think there's a couple rumours. There's like.
Jord addressed this last week.
Yeah.
It just come up on news now. Just like EFL world,
Football League world,
Yeah.
whatever it's called. But no, your old man's a Liverpool fan, isn't he, Jord?
Yeah, but he's one that goes, so you can't really call him a glory hunter. As sorts, anyway.
No,
Kinda.
but Jord, how do you fancy your chances Wednesday night against Liverpool? Because it looked like they turned a little bit of a corner, but it came crashing back down to earth with the loss against Real Madrid. First 20 minutes, they were fantastic, but are you confident? And obviously, just off the back of a win against Liverpool, how are you feeling about it?
I don't know, because, like you say, the Everton and Newcastle games felt like they were purring a little bit. And I know we spoke about it on the podcast last week. And then even at Real Madrid, the first 20 minutes, I thought, God, they're back. And I was thinking, they're going to be after us after we did them 3-0 not so long ago. And then Palace, they were extremely flat again, weren't they? So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see what Klopp does with the lineup as well. I feel like we've got to go there and play with some confidence. I feel like the way to play these teams is if you go up there and just sit in and try and nick something, I think 9 times out of 10 you're going to get a hammering. So I'd rather just go toe-to-toe with them a little bit, force them back and play on their jitters and their nerves. I think if we keep it tight 15, 20 minutes in terms of silence the crowd a little bit, longer the game goes on, the more we'll probably grow into it a little bit. And I don't think they're very good defensively at set pieces. I feel like we can get at them. I think Cunha's a big loss, though, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, well, let's just wait and see. I don't like the word free it, but yeah, start the season, you're going to Anfield, you don't expect anything, do you?
No, and for me, the more winnable game, even though the 1-4 at the last 5 is Spurs on Saturday. But Dave, with Cunha injured, looking at what his son or his daughter, son putting a plaster on his ankle, it doesn't. I'm no physiotherapist, but it doesn't look. It's not in a brace or anything. It doesn't look that swollen. Probably anticipate him not to play though, don't you? The way he was stretched off. Yeah,
it does look. It looks a little bit swollen, but not as bad as what we expect. We're probably not going to know till tomorrow when I'd assume Lopetegui does a presser. So yeah, I would assume he's not going to be in the squad for Wednesday. Which again, the mixed comments about him after the game against Fulham. There were some people in the reaction video comments saying like good almost, because we can rely on someone else. But then there's other people sort of echoing what we said earlier on about him sort of off the ball, being a bit of a nuisance. So be interesting to see how we react and how we change the squad for Wednesday if Cunha's not involved.
Who do you think will come in for him if he's not around?
I've got a feeling it'll be your 4-3-3, but with Núñez as a left winger again. Unless he plays Adama, Raul, and Sarabia, but I think it'll be the Núñez left wing experiment. If you can call it.
Yeah, maybe. I know Núñez had a load of joy with Trent, didn't he, on that left hand side against Liverpool? Just keep forcing him back, getting him behind, making him defend. But I think if if Lopetegui does do that thing, it probably, as I come to him, as he looks like he's froze. Perhaps that speaks volumes about our other wide men if he's continues to persist with Núñez as that wide midfielder. I know as we said earlier, football's a lot more fluid, but
yeah. Well, going back to something I teased about 15, 20 minutes ago, I'd probably go 8. I know I always say this against Liverpool, but I'd go 8. I'd like to see 8 on the left, and I think Núñez, to be fair, I know he played on the right for Sporting Lisbon. I don't think had he played much on the left there. I don't know, but I think it'd be better for him on the right. I'd sort of say, right, Núñez, you follow Robertson, and 8 you get at Trent and play Bueno and 8 and then I think even in the reverse Liverpool game we played Sarabia and Cunha as a front two. So I'd go Sarabia and Raul, and then Nunes and Aït-Nouri, maybe in a more 4-4-2 slash. I suppose you could even go Aït-Nouri on the left, Sarabia on the right, and then the three in midfield as well. It could be all that asymmetric fancy, all that European stuff. But no, I'd like to see him in there one way or the other. And that sort of targets the areas that they're weakest in. I think I would like to have Cunha for the game, but I like the look of Sarabia in that too. I like the look of Aït-Nouri further forward. So something like that for me.
How about if I said to you inverted centre mids? So you play Neves and Lamina left and right wing, and Sarabia and Cadence as your midfield too.
Oh my
Beautiful.
God.
And then Craig Dawson right back, Semedo centre half. He's done it before.
What was that one I sent a few weeks ago? And no disrespect to our American viewers, but they do have some incredible.
Wasn't shoehorning Cody into the 8 role? Was it like you try and do every
something
single
like
podcast?
That? I think it was 8. It was something so bad. Oh no, it was 1 centre mid, wasn't it? And like 5 attackers or something ridiculous.
Love it.
And I was there like, mate, what are you watching here? I think it was Pedence, Jimenez, Cunha, Sarabia, Adama all playing. I was like, mate, what the? It's worth a try. I was like, yeah, maybe on FM, but not in real life.
Like that one on FIFA, wasn't it? Everyone used to play one CDM, and it's like left wing, right wing, cam 2 strikers. Yeah, beautiful heritage. Lamina could do it.
Or a Catanaccio. Is it a Catanaccio? It's like
something like that. Yeah, Catanaccio. Yeah, Segundo Volante.
Yeah, just that mad formation that Italians use in like the 80s or 90s. Like, Jord probably remember it better than I did.
Channel 4, mate. Goal Lazio. Goal Lazio.
Football Italia.
Oh God. Nah, there are some funny shouts though. That is true that formation is like when you're playing FM, you've gone 1-0 down. It's like 20 minutes.
90th minute in the cup final. Yeah,
I'm bringing 5 strikers on, and there's not enough room for me to drag them into position. So like, 2 are just going to be happy playing as advanced playmakers.
You don't get another highlight for the rest of the game.
I always find, and it's off topic, but if you go ultra attacking, and you're winning, you never see another highlight again.
Yeah. No, I've never played ultra attacking. BS.
Do you not?
Nah, you gotta go. Ultra attacking never works. Attacking's fine, but ultra attacking there.
What do you fucking know anyway? But Dave, can you see Wolves getting a result here at Anfield? It's obviously out of form a little bit, but still tough, isn't it?
Yeah, so tough. And I think I know obviously we beat him so comfortably a couple of weeks ago, but as bad as it sounds, different team now. They've got Van Dijk back in, who's phenomenal. Jota could be a part of the squad. I know he started against Palace. So they've got a lot of good players back. Canate could potentially be back as well. So I think it's, I know it's not on TV for people legally in the United Kingdom, but I don't think it would be a pretty game for Wolves fans to watch. I think we could sit back, try and frustrate Liverpool, as we have done like historically at Anfield, and tried to get them on the counter. But we'll wait and see. I think it could be a long evening for us, but I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we get the 3 points.
If Nunes isn't fit, Finn, it looks like Jota could start up top. How much do we miss him?
I know. To be fair, I caught like the first half of the Palace game, and he seemed like he made a bit of a difference. But I think every time, well, at least a few of the times we've come up against him in a Liverpool shirt, he's played really well and then scored. He was in that lockdown game as well. We do miss him, but I don't know. He's had his injury troubles there, like he had with us as well. And just on that sort of, I slightly disagree with Dave. I think we'll do okay. I think we'll give as good as we get. I think I've been listening to a lot of maybe like Talk Sport, things like that. People are saying with Liverpool's position, they're going, but 2 games in hand, so add 6 points. And knowing that we're one of those games, it's sort of made me more sort of like, no, we can do them here. And I think we can. I don't think we've even got a point at Anfield since we've come up. I know we've got the draw in the FA Cup, which should have been the win, but I think this is the one. They don't scare me too much.
No, not since we come back up. The Stephen Ward goal was the last time we won there in the league.
Yeah. Our record there in the league is atrocious.
Yeah, it's awful.
I know I said it was a long night. I didn't mean that in regards to result. I think the score will be close, but I think I wouldn't expect us to go sort of free flowing, all out attack football.
Yeah, no. We shall see. It should be an interesting game. Right then, lads, moving on to the BetMate pot for this game. So it's £3 in for your chance to win a share of £300, and that's part of the Prem double header. So let's talk through our team. So I've gone heavy Wolves and Arsenal. Now, Jord normally says, now your colours to the mast, go heavy on one team. Obviously, it's across two fixtures, so I've gone heavy with two teams, but probably most people, Jord, would probably go heavy Arsenal, Liverpool, wouldn't they?
Well, you'd like to think so, yeah. I can't see everything getting anything at the Emirates, really. Well,
No,
who knows, to be fair.
But
Definitely, go heavy two teams on this one, I think, is the plan and the strategy.
So I've gone with the best-looking player in the league in goal, Aaron Ramsdale. Then I've gone for Hugo Bueno and Zinchenko. And then I've captained Neves with Mario Lemina. I think Lemina could put himself about and make quite a few tackles. And then I've gone with Eddie Nketiah and Saka up top, vice-captain. I may take Nketiah out, but I think most of those are pretty nailed on starters. So I'm hoping if Wolves can nick something at Anfield, then it might set me put the cat amongst the pigeons in terms of my my final standings for the BetMate pot. But Dave, moving on to your team, mate, can you talk us through it?
Yeah, I've gone with a little bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. I've gone with Ramsdale in goal as well. I've gone with two Liverpool defenders, but in hindsight, possibly, I think Arsenal probably got a better chance of keeping a clean sheet. But I've gone with Robertson and Trent. It's not 100% that they'll both start, so that may well change. I've kept Neves in the midfield, though. I think, he's a guaranteed decent amount of points, regardless of if Wolves get a clean sheet or not. And Ødegaard in the midfield as my vice. And then I've gone with an Arsenal duo up top in Martinelli and Bukayo Saka as my captain.
Lovely stuff. Let's hope with this one we can all finish in a pay places. That'd be lovely.
Fingers crossed.
Finn, do you want to talk me through the team, mate?
Yeah, I'm sort of taking Jord's advice. His training's going well so far with last week. So I've gone for a big gold stripe and then a big red stripe in my team. So I've got, not the drink, Ramsdale, Zinchenko, and then with what I was saying before, 8 Nori. So I'm just sort of hoping on that one and I can switch that out if Lopetegui doesn't share my brain, probably to Bueno or Semedo. And then I've got Neves and Ødegaard in midfield, Bukayo Saka and the hero of last week, Pablo Sarabia, up front. And I've viced Saka and captained Ødegaard. So not fully confident on Wolves. But as you say, if Wolves get something there, you got the base Arsenal points. And then I think we'll be in and about it.
Now, Jordan, I know you'd like to try and pick seven Liverpool players because of your ties with the club, but you can unfortunately only pick 4. But looking at your lineup, there's none at all.
No, it's shocking, isn't it? That shocking.
Redmen Jord.
Redmen George, yeah. No, that's a different podcast. That's Tuesdays. So I've gone with Jose Sa in goal, Craig Dawson at the back, because I think he's probably the best footballer in the world at attacking set pieces. I'm being cheerish. Gabriel as well. Again, another threat off set pieces. Gone. Ruben Neves, vice captain. Ødegaard captain, because I think he's an unbelievable footballer, to be honest with you. Then I've gone with Saka and Martinelli up top.
Wonderful. Finn, can I just get a pronunciation check on Ødegaard?
Oh, God. Who was it that?
John McKenzie.
It's the Tifo podcast. It's like, he's at Ødegaard. And I'm like, come on. Like,
he did a video about a pronunciation guy, that's why. So now he's like...
Ødegaard. It's any name. Like, I know we've joked about it for years, Matt, because we've had Neves and Gwedge and all those. But like, it seems to be for foreign names. But if you listen to French football on a Man United game, they don't go Scott McTominay. Like, you just say it in your own. Like, there's no point. It's like it shouldn't wind me up as much. But Ødegaard tipped me over the edge. Like, I'm fine with Ødegaard maybe than Ødegaard because there is a little thing, but Gore. I'm like, come on.
It sounds like when me and Dave first did an interview with Alex Goncalves from the Portuguese football expert, and we were calling Renato Sanches. I know Dave's a bit of a stickler for pronunciation anyway, aren't you, mate? So
yeah, I don't pronounce the names like that. I'll do the basic stuff like
Yeah.
Gage or Gonzalez.
You love a Raul de Tomas as well.
I roll the R's for some reason. I don't know why I do
Patrick
that.
Catrone.
Yeah.
Oh well, mate. Oh well. That's not the only BetMate pot for this game. So pleased to announce that BetMate have got a new game mode called Full-Time Result. So essentially, what it is, there's a load of games. So for this pot, it's the midweek Full-Time Results pots for the FA Cup and Prem games. So there's a selection of games within the pot, and it's £5 in your chance to win £500. And all you have to do is predict the correct result of the game. So it's 3 points for a correct result. That's not the score, so it's just a win or draw for a particular side. And yeah, it's a new game mode. We all had a go at the weekend. It was good fun. And I mean, it's really hard to predict, but I think everyone else is in the same boat. So it could make, with stuff like that, there's definitely an opportunity. Jord, as a BetMate loyal, did you have a go at the weekend? Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I had a go, but I've got no strategy at the minute. I think I did okay, but I don't think I cashed. So I thought I was doing all right as well, because I predicted a Palace Liverpool draw, Man City win, obviously. That was an hard, was it? But I thought, I'll have a look, and I was like about 85th or something stupid. I thought, that ain't very good.
Well done.
So
perhaps you need to do a bit of a SWOT analysis of a bit of strategy work.
Give me a few weeks, I'll crack the code. Don't worry.
If you start cracking the code on that, though, not advocating using other bookmakers, but if you can start predicting like results and getting them right, then you can start putting the lottery numbers on for me if you want, mate.
Yeah, I'll start getting banned from the casino as well.
Mario Lemina was in the casino recently, wasn't he?
He was,
yeah.
According to Twitter.
According to Twitter. Loves it. Absolutely loves it. Right then, chaps, as I said, the games are coming thick and fast, and before we know it, we'll be at Molineux again on Saturday for Wolves versus Spurs. Dave, is this a more winnable game than Liverpool? Without Conte, Spurs look a different beast.
Yeah, they're playing really well at the moment. I think it's possibly more winnable, mainly because we're at home. But I think in terms of difficulty, it's probably very similar to Liverpool right now.
I think we play better away from home.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think it's still a tough game. I think the next two are tough. Next three are tough because we've got Newcastle as well. But yeah, if we can come out the rest of this month with 6 points, I think it's a very positive month for us. But we can get something definitely. We always have pretty close games against Spurs. To be fair, we gave them a good game earlier this season and should have done better. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
I've just watched Trincao score an absolute worldie for Sporting. Just further compounds the misery, doesn't it? Honestly, he's danced through about 5 players. I know he's only playing Estoril, but oh well. Just thought I'd let you know that if anyone wants to go and have a look at that, Proxima Janada is who's actually worked with us on previous podcasts. Go and have a look at that. But Finn, what are you expecting Saturday?
I was expecting. I didn't realise they'd won 4 out of the last 5 until you'd said that before. So
doesn't feel like it, does it?
No, exactly. I was expecting an easier game half an hour ago than I am now. Did they get slapped by Leicester or someone? And I think that's the thing that's sticking in my mind.
4-1.
I know from listening to bits of Spurs stuff that Bentancur injuries, they were absolutely gutted with that. So I just assumed that they were going to go downhill from there. But yeah, maybe a little bit more impressive than I thought. But I think we always do well. You've got Son sort of lost his place. Richarlison still not scored a goal. Kulusevski not in that original form that he was in. Perisic's been underwhelming. Porro's debut sounded like a nightmare. So Emerson Royale's back in there. That back three's gettable. I think it's only really Romero that I'd probably take. So it should be a decent game, but with that sort of form, maybe I've got to take it a little bit more cautiously.
Was it Tim Sherwood who said like Porro's not even a footballer or something like that on his debut?
Yeah.
We said he played for Benfica as well. He got the completely wrong team.
Yeah.
Clown.
Yeah, don't listen to Tim Shaw's.
I think Joe's got his gilet on, hasn't he?
I was going to say that's a nice little open goal for you.
Remember when he was like doing bits at Villa and everyone thought he was going to be like the next England manager?
Spurs,
sorry, and he went to Villa and bummed out, didn't he? And then that was it.
Yeah.
He kept talking about his ratio.
He did the inject thing at Spurs, yeah.
Yeah.
It's when he brought Adebayor in. He got brought Adebayor in, didn't he? Adebayor just went on a mad run for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, did he celebrated and he injected, say he had ice veins, he was injecting himself at the end of the game because he won a game, checking his pulse. It's like, prick.
What Keno, man. Yeah.
Do you remember when he brought that fan out of the crowd as well?
Oh, it's just, yeah. That was Spurs as well.
When
When it sat him on the seat, didn't it?
Yeah,
I think the fan kept saying, I think the fan at one of the previous home games, digging him out because they were losing, and when they were winning a game, Sherwood said, "Come here," and got him out and put him in the seat. Basically, don't know, weird guy. And now he's that good. He's on Soccer Saturday. So there you go.
Awful. George, do you rest any players at Liverpool in hope of getting something against Spurs, or do you just try and go full strength in both?
I think now we've got more of a squad. I still I think I said it last week. I don't think Lopetegui knows his strongest 11, and I don't either. I would expect probably João Gomez to start one of these 2 games. There's going to be some rotation. Costa might start one of these games as well. Not that I'm advocating that much, but I think Spurs are so Jekyll and Hyde, as we've said before. It depends what Spurs team turn up. I know Finn, you just said there, Richarlison scored for Spurs. You can bet your bottom dollar if he's going to score against anyone, it's going to be Wolves. And then, but even the team at yesterday, watching them, I didn't think they were that good against Chelsea, really. And then, you're thinking, they've got Ollie Skip. He's the backup to Benton Kerr, and Dyer's playing Ben Davis, and Emerson Royale, Fraser Forster's in goal. It's this is a site of, these aren't bad footballers, but these aren't players that are walking out. These aren't players that play for us in our strongest 11. So I think you've got to take a bit of confidence out of that and just think, as long as you can keep the front three quiet, whatever combination that is, they've got some good attacking players. It's a very winnable game, I think.
If I can ask you all individually out of the next 2 games, how many points you think we're going to get? Dave, starting with you.
3.
Finn?
2.
Jord?
1.
0.
Dear.
0, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just think I've said their Spurs. I've just said their Spurs are Jekyll and Hyde, but knowing our luck, they'll be fucking come and be like the Harlem Globetrotters for 90 minutes. So 0. That's my pessimistic Wolves head on. Yeah, 0.
Right then, chaps, moving on to the BetMate game. So it's £3 in for your chance to win the share of £300, and this is for the Prem 3:00 kickoff. So there's quite a lot of teams in this one. So Dave, starting with you, what's your team and why have you picked it?
Yeah, I've gone with, it's a little bit all over the place, but I think obviously between now and then a lot of things can change. But my provisional team is I've gone with Kepa in goal, only because I think Chelsea are rock bottom at the moment. The only way is up for Chelsea. So I've gone Kepa as vice as well, actually, because I think he'll still get peppered with efforts from Leeds. I've gone with Estupiñán again. He just gets the points. I think he might have a slight knock though. I don't think he's playing for Brighton this week in the FA Cup, so I'll keep an eye on him. Zinchenko at the back for Arsenal against Bournemouth, because I think again if he starts they should get a clean sheet. Mitoma for Brighton. I've gone with him as captain provisionally actually against West Ham. He's got a really good average of points. Next to Ødegaard again, or Ødegaard, or whatever Finn was saying earlier. Harry Kane up top. Against Wolves, unfortunately, alongside Ollie Watkins, who is on flames at the moment. I put a tweet out about Ollie Watkins, and someone went absolutely mad about me, tweeting about a Villa player. I was like, okay.
I said it on the pod about 2 months ago when we were playing them. I really liked him, and I got the same. So I
think he gets in some great positions, but I don't know what his XG is off the top of my head, but I'd assume he's actually putting away his chances.
Funnily enough, neither do I.
Yeah.
George, talk me through the winning team.
So I've gone with Jose Sarr in goal again. I've gone with Craig Dawson again. Like I say, best defender at attacking set players in the world, completely. Reece James, who probably, because I've picked him in my team, will probably go down with a touch of cramp after 5 minutes and go off the pitch. I've gone with Ødegaard as captain. Martin as captain. Let's call him Martin. Enzo as vice captain. And then I've gone with Jared Bowen, and I've also gone with Ollie Watkins as well.
Finn?
I've got newly crowned goalkeeper of the year, Emi Martinez in goal, not because I particularly rate him, just because they're playing Palace. And I think they said in the Liverpool game the other night that their team had only scored, like the players that were out had only scored 6 goals that season because there was no like no Sahara and everything. So I backed him. I've gone Emerson against Wolves, to be fair, but that's the only Tottenham player. Then Reece James as well, and Fernandes, again, studying from the master. And then I've got Lamina, Saka, and Ollie Watkins. I've vice-captain Ollie Watkins and captained. He's not a Fernandes, is he? Because he's Argentinian, not Portuguese. So he's a Fernandes.
Yeah, he's a Fernandes. Fernandes.
Fernandes.
I've gone with Sanchez in goal. I've gone with Emerson and Junior Firpo as the defenders, purely because they've both been absolute dog shit for most of their time at their clubs, but have now all of a sudden turned it on. Are in great form. I've gone with Solly Marsh in my midfield. He just
you've gone on average 5 games and just picked all the top players, because I saw all these players and I thought, nah.
He's everywhere, isn't he?
It's interesting, just on that, if we are doing talking seagulls, because I was looking at which Brighton players to bring in for the double in FPL. They said even though Mitoma is like catching all the headlines of how well he's playing on all the stats, it was McAllister in the last few weeks by a mile at the top, then March, then Mitoma. If anyone does FPL, that McAllister seems to be like, since he's playing in the 10, he's getting in all the XG and all that.
Yeah, Solly Marsh it looks like he could get a few points there. I've gone with captain Enzo Fernandez, and then vice captain Saka and Ollie Watkins up top. Has anyone not picked Ollie Watkins?
No, all of us.
Yeah.
So we'll have a stinker then. Get in there.
Yeah.
So if anyone's listening to this contemplating picking Ollie Watkins, don't bother. And as previously mentioned with the Wednesday BetMate pot, there is also a full-time results pot. So this is the Championship and Prem games. So it's £5 for your chance to win £500, and you can play that up until kick-off. With the fantasy games, you can pick your teams up until 5 minutes before kick-off, but with the full-time results pot, you can pick your teams up until the kick-off. So of course, with all that, please gamble aware. Right then, chaps, moving on to the question time. So thanks for those who sent in those questions. I feel like Luke Bennett when I do this segment. All right, guys, thanks for the question. It feels very formulaic. Perhaps I need to change it up a little bit. So big thanks to those on Twitter who sent in a whole host of questions. We really do appreciate it. So Harry Gill has asked, who's a friend of the pod, how much of a difference do you think Fabio Silva would have made for us this season? Amar's Music Show has asked a similar question. But Dave, we'll start with you. Do you think Silva could have made a difference for us?
Yeah, he would have made a difference. I'm not going to sit here and say, we'd be sort of fighting for the Europa League if he was here, but I think, he would have added something that we were lacking, especially after Sasha's injury and, Raul, going AWOL. So I think, he would have. I still think he's, before he left the club, his goal contribution per minute was very decent for somebody of his experience and age. And he's shown that again this season. I've not added it up with his Anderlecht numbers, but I mean, his start at PSV has been phenomenal. In 7 games, he's getting a goal contribution every 42, 43 minutes or so. So it's been a really solid start. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him come back next season, all being well and being a part. I don't think he'll be the main man next season. He's in our number 1, number 9 striker. I think we need to sign another one, but he's definitely better now and a better position now than what he was at the start of the season.
Any chance of us going out to Eindhoven to watch a game?
Possibly.
Give it a go. Actually.
Yeah, it's easy to get there. To be fair, Eindhoven.
Is it?
I'm sure there's an airport there.
I've never been to Denmark.
I've never done Holland either. So, but there is an airport there.
They don't like Holland, do they? They prefer Netherlands.
Yeah, I think it's. I've got a Dutch mate. He used to kick off about one of them, but I forget which one it was. So he didn't kick off.
I'd love to see that match though. Holland versus Netherlands. It'd be a good match. Though.
Yeah, I think. Who do you think would win? Maybe it's on the cards. George, fancy Eindhoven for a weekend or for the night?
Yeah, if we can get it sorted, get it in the calendar. Let's do it.
If Bet want to get involved, then
Yeah, exactly. If Bet want to pay for the drink,
we're going, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. Not that they can. Are they still in the Europa League? I know they're out now, aren't they? Severe.
Nah, they lost. Well, lost an aggregate. Yeah.
So they can't even involve me in one of the pots. So you can't see that happening. But chaps, start with you, George. Do you think he would have made much of a difference this season?
it's one of those, isn't it? I think hindsight, probably, yeah, but I'm still really comfortable with the decision for him to go out on loan and get first team experience, if I'm honest with you. And we should be getting excited by the fact and the prospect that he's scoring goals and getting involved in, goal contributions rather than, I mean, I like seeing the highlights like the next person, but I'm sick of like the 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 social media tweets you get of, bring him back, star boy this, star boy that, like, should be here. Like, I'm glad he's doing well, but we get it. He's scoring goals. It's a better thing for us for next season. But yeah, hopefully he goes and scores 15, 20 goals, but I might have to mute him until August.
I think that absence makes a heart grow fonder and slightly more biased. It's like when a player's out for a while, it's going to be like, we're missing him. He's massive for us, and he comes back and he's as shit as he was before.
Like a new signing. He's like a new signing.
I think that's what. To be fair though, like Anderlecht's not a. Dave, would you say Anderlecht and the Eredivisie, the Jupiler Pro League and the Eredivisie are similar kind of levels?
Maybe Anderlecht have been gash this season though. Like they've been really, really bad, and his numbers for such a poor team, his numbers have still been really impressive. I think he had 11 goals and 5 or 6 assists. He just played just over 30 games there in all comps. Eredivisie is slightly better, I would say, but still not fantastic. But we have seen a number of players come from Holland and do all right over in England.
I'm a bit gutted that Duranville from Anderlecht's gone to Dortmund.
Yeah,
because he was.
But we saw that, mate. We had the vision, mate.
Yeah, we knew it, mate. We knew. If you look through my tweets, you'll see that, mate. We've actually tipped him to be one for the future. Yeah. Finn, do you think he could have made a difference this season?
I think it's been the perfect storm almost. That, as you say, like at PSV, it's been a goal contribution every 40 minutes, and we can't score. That people will naturally come to that conclusion. But I think if we were 9th and had a decent goal scoring record, I think this season's been perfect for him, what we've done with him. I think at the start of that PSV loan, I was looking at that rumoured Burnley choice and thought that would have been good because I never really wanted to chuck him into the Championship. But if we were ever going to do it, I think that would have been the perfect way to do it. There'd have been chances galore and how he's got them playing. But now, as you see what he's doing with PSV, it's European, like in the Europa League experience, albeit for 1 or 2 games. And the numbers he's putting up, I think he'll be in the starting 11 now more consistently. And I think it's worked all round. If we stay up, it's been a great decision. If we go down, you might look at it with a little bit of regret. But no, I think it's right for him this season. If we stay up, it's all good for next season.
His dad seems to speak quite a lot for him, doesn't he?
He's his agent, his dad.
Who is that?
Yeah. That's why he made a shitload out of that deal.
Didn't they investigate that?
Yeah, because he, out of the 35 million Wolves paid to Porto only got about 20-25 million of it. And a big chunk went to his dad and the other chunk went to Mendes. So
Mensch. Jack Crockford has asked, not really a question, but how much more confident are you watching Wolves post Julian? Post Lage. It is a question.
I'm a lot more confident. I think not just the performances and everything on the pitch. I think off the pitch everything's a lot better. I think with Lopetegui you get someone that clearly knows what he's doing. The attitude and morale and happiness around Compton and the squad seems a lot better. So I'm a lot more confident now. A lot better now than what we were sort of around Christmas time. And look at the league position and the mini league between all the teams in and around us. We're still top of that sort of post-Christmas mini league that people seem to post all the while.
How about you, chaps? Jord, do you feel a bit more confident now?
Yeah, 100%. The football's so much better. I think Bruno Lage is waiting for the PE teacher's role at Wumben High. Previously, that's his level. So it's quite interesting. There's a tweet, wasn't there? I saw on the weekend about
Steve Davis.
Steve Davis was in the away end, wasn't he? He said like basically Bruno.
Was he?
Yeah, I saw a tweet saying Bruno ruined the first team, is what he said, and you could see that because they were fucking dreadful. So yeah, the football's a lot better, but I'd back us for to go in and get the football better than what it was. To be honest with you, we could all see the problem with We could all see the problem. They weren't fit enough, and there was no Mazzalas in the team, so we could have got them running laps and get some Mazzalas in. 5 Mazzalas.
If we were to go in at Wolves, what roles do you think we'd all pick up?
What, as players or
no, as like
coaches.
technical team, yeah, coaching technical team.
Matt, I thought you want to be physio, didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll probably be
looking at Cunha's injury. I'd say.
Well, you got to try trousers.
I'll probably be that woman that shows them around. All the videos.
Alias or whatever her name is.
Yeah. If you need me, just WhatsApp me, mate. It's all right.
Don't need a five putting in there.
I'd love to know what she does between September and December and February and March, May. Yeah.
I'm sure she's very busy, mate.
Yeah, I reckon she's really good at Sudoku.
Yeah.
That's a good shout. That's a good shout. I think we'd have Dave in as manager.
Fucking hell.
I think so because
you're a goalkeeping coach, Matt. Surely for the
go on.
Yeah, he's a goalkeeping expert. I think we'd have Jord as head of sports science.
I think
I'll be like that clipboard. I'll just be shouting down, "Oi, Aaron!"
He's got
Nunes.
Red zone.
Yeah.
Finn, what could fit?
With my relationship with Grasshoppers, I could be loan manager. I know them inside out from Football Manager. That'd be beautiful. I mean, it's a little bit disappointing, but I'd do a good job.
Yeah, but I want you in and around the place a bit more, though. Yeah, I want you more involved. I feel like you could have something a little bit more different, a little bit different to what everyone
Sky
else.
Sun's left, Finn.
Has he? I met him in a lift once. Great guy.
Yeah, he left.
Has he gone to one of the? Is he? No, he
back
left
to China.
Grasshoppers, hasn't he? Yeah, he left
gone back to
Grasshoppers.
China,
Yeah, it's a shame. Big miss.
What happened
Or I
to
could. Sorry, go on.
What happened to the lad they signed in the summer from the J League?
Sang Bin.
Oh, Young Sam Bin. Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, he hasn't scored a goal, has he? I don't think.
He had a 2-year loan. Yeah.
The Grasshoppers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has he not scored?
I don't think
He has. He scored not a huge amount. Kawabi's banging him in. But I'm still adamant
he's the missing piece of the jigsaw.
Yeah.
He's the missing piece of the jigsaw.
Yeah, 6 games and no goals.
What a
but yeah, Kawabi's banging. He's like 1 in 2 man in from midfield.
Oh, who's the Korean correspondent we have for the channel? He loves him as well.
Sam Parker.
No. Young Mo. What's his name? Sung Mo Lee. That's him. Just been messaging me at like 4 p.m. after Hwang Hee-chan scored against Newcastle. Mate, can you send me a video of the goal? I was like, mate, I'm stood in the ground. What are you expecting me to do?
Yeah, lads, just try and put that one in again. Just young boy.
Finn, you remember you sent me a clip of the celebrations, and I sent them to him, and he did a video of one of Hwang's goals and put all subtitles in Korean, and he put Finn's mom and sister on the thumbnail.
Yeah,
the clips. You remember Finn?
Yeah, I do remember.
He banged as well. I swear he got thousands of views, and it was just like,
I'm not surprised. No, disrespect, Finn.
Oh.
I'll have to find that. Brilliant.
Oh, well, yeah, I remember. Yeah. Wasn't even them at the game, was it? It was just us on holiday. No, it wasn't.
That's funny. That's really funny. Lendog has asked who has been the best January window signing so far. Finn, it's got to be Bentley, surely.
It's the two unfashionable ones, isn't it? Where you go, Lamina and Dawson, the two probably the ones given the least attention. It's between those two. I mean, João Gomez has got a decent goals per minute record, I reckon, so far. And I think there's definitely potential with Cunha and Sarabia. Yeah, Bentley's since his arrival, Sarah's got a lot better. So you could argue he's been vital. So they've all contributed in their own ways, but I'd probably just about Lamina or Dawson. Oh, I can see Jord looking at me, so I'm going to say Dawson. So he smiles.
Jord?
I'd go Dawson, just because there's everything we haven't had at the back for a long time. Just very unfashionable, kicks, not everything, leadership. Everyone's been moaning about, Connor Cody bringing back and all that sort of stuff because we miss his leadership. And Dawson's a better footballer and a communicator, and that sort of filled that gap a little bit. I do agree. We got rid of 3 really experienced centre halves in the summer. That probably killed us a little bit as well. I think Dawson's papered over that crack. a little bit. But I think after the goal on the weekend, I can't imagine many people are clamouring for Conor Cody to come back after he got spun like I don't know what he got
Beyblade.
spun.
Beyblade,
Beyblade, yeah. Literally don't know what he was doing. Stuck in the mud, wasn't he? On the weekend. So yeah. No, I think Dawson's been the most vital, but I think as a window as a whole, they've all added something. I'd even say even Bentley seems to have spurred Sar on a little bit.
Well, it's a bit bittersweet for you, isn't it, Jord? Because Collins has come out of the team.
Yeah, look, for me, I'd still want Collins over Kilman, but Lopetegui ain't got a lot wrong yet. But as soon as it starts turning, don't worry, I'll be hammering him for your boy Collins back in the team. Don't you worry about that.
Dave, best signing in the January window?
I'll say Lamina. I think he's probably, he's had a big impact. I think it showed how much we missed him against Bournemouth as well. I think Collins has been great. I think, Cunha and Sarabia have played their part as well, but and obviously João Gomez. But yeah, for me, it's for Lamina.
Nigel Ross has asked, with João Gomez nearing match fitness and Boubacar on his way back, would you play either one of these and drop Núñez, who has been underwhelming lately? I know we spoke about that a little bit earlier, but Dave, if you were going to replace Núñez with one of those two, who would it be?
I think Boubacar could, I think both have got their quality.
I really like Boubacar.
I've not seen enough of João Gomez yet to know exactly what sort of role you play him as, because I can see him more in that. I was going to say Lamina role, but I just don't think he's. I don't know. I think he does a lot of the dirty work, which I suppose at times Núñez probably doesn't do as much as he should have. But Gomez looked like a really tidy player at Southampton. And like Jord, you said a few minutes ago, I would like to see him start one of these next two games. But I think they're both quality players, both quality footballers.
Finn, who would you play over Núñez?
With the João Gomez thing, from what when David spoke to people in Portugal on the channel, they seemed to say that he was the sort of the Lamina role, wasn't he? He was the water carrier. Yeah. They let the guys in front do their thing and he'd just sweep up. But seeing the small flashes of him going forward and then doubting whether he will be played further forward. So it'd almost be Lamina for Gomez, which I wouldn't do yet. Obviously, Gomez, you've got plenty of years ahead in mind. And I think, Boubacar before the injury was really finding his feet. So maybe Boubacar, and as you say, you've got two games in quick succession. So there's maybe even need for rotation, even if there wasn't like a player out of form. So I'd probably give Boubacar a go out of the two and then Gomez maybe another sub appearance. I don't know. Yeah, but probably something like that.
Jord?
Honestly, I don't think seeing enough of either of them to say who's better or who would prefer in terms of like limited minutes. I think Boubacar is really impressive. Palace away, that it was really impressive. And I think when we brought him off is when we sort of lost control of that game. But I wasn't at the Leeds game. I was on holiday, so I didn't watch back anything of the Carabao Cup fourth round game other than the goal. So I heard he played well. And then, like I say, João Gomez, I think he was brought in as that Lamina role, and I think he was definitely bought with the future in mind, which Lopetegui said. And I feel like you might see a bit of a switch in formation of a more traditional 4-4-2 that Lopetegui might want to play next season with Gomez and Lamina sitting to allow you then to have a bit more of a fluid front four, as it were. I think that's a long-term plan, if I'm honest.
Gibbon Space has said, really appreciate all the content Talking Wolves provides. You've been my main choice for Wolves content for a couple of years now and often find the funny off-topic stories and banter gives it the feel of listening to mates and he's always welcomes. Thank you for that. He's also gone on to say, although for weeks where there's only been three of you to participate in the podcast, would it be possible to have a fourth guest? Anyone from the Fans React, Harry Gill, Joey, Bib. Bib, I feel like we'd need a bleep machine, or to hook him up to a blood pressure monitor just to make sure he's all right. But I feel like we've got a really good dynamic with the four of us, and even if it's three of us. But it's also like audio equipment, like we've all got half decent mics and stuff, and I feel like the quality could be compromised if someone was. I don't know how you feel about it, Dave, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's always scope. We've done it. Yeah, we've done it before. We had, a number of guests on over the last couple of years. But I think next season will be an interesting one because I've got different plans for the YouTube channel in terms of content and different different things that a lot more fans can get involved in. So anyone interested, drop me a message or obviously watch his space. We'll get things sorted. But obviously the standard stuff like the podcast that we do is going to remain the same anyway, all being well.
Yeah. We're just going to charge you £10 an episode instead. That's a joke. It'll only be £5. Sean Mitchell has asked, finally, and the most important, what's your favourite crisps?
Ooh.
This is where it gets juicy. Dave, you're a chili heat wave, aren't you?
Chili heat wave Doritos all the way.
No.
I actually had a Doritos advent calendar I did last in December. The first 6 days in a row were all chili heat wave, and I thought, right, this is sound, but at the same time, I thought it was taking the piss a little bit.
How big was the advent calendar?
Yeah, it was tall. It was probably about 25 inches tall.
I know.
About 25 inches tall, and then the advent calendar was about yeah. Not like like the proper the grab bags, yeah. Not the £1.50 ones, but the ones you get the meal deal like.
Nice. I'll just have a look now. It's quite a girthy box. That.
Yeah. What about the advent calendar?
Hey, love it.
No, it was good. It was good because I went to New York the week before Christmas. I got back and there was about 10 packs of Doritos left. It was happy days. Yeah, chili heat wave Doritos for me. Meal deal. It's one. I like all of them. Cool original tangy cheese.
Cool originals are excellent.
Yeah, decent.
I love the Cool original. I love flame grilled or cheddar and onion McCoys as well. Anything pungent, anything stinks.
You like the salt and vinegar ones, McCoys. They're strong. I like them. Yeah.
Tyrrells as well, crisps like that, proper crunchy.
They're stale, are they? Aren't they?
Nah, they're proper crisps.
They're nice, though.
Yeah,
I want themselves eating Tyrrells, I'll tell you that.
Mature cheddar and red onion. Well, thank you very much, Finn. What you go to, Chris? You're going to be a ready salted man, aren't you? Or salt and
hula hoops.
Yeah,
salt and shake.
Salt and shake without the salt.
You used to love a salt and shake. I don't know. I have a thing with Chris. It sounds like I've got a problem, but I'd go salt and vinegar if I'm seeing people in the day. But if it's a work from home day, I as you say, a flame grilled steak or a beef hula, something that's going to affect your breath, but you're not going to see anyone. So if work from home, I'd love something like that. But I normally go, McCoy's salt and vinegar. The recent one, the Sensations chicken and roast chicken and something. They're good. But also, I'm also big on I don't know that you've seen, my mum and dad do this every Friday night, right? Every Friday night they do fizz and crisps and they have giant Watsits. I just come down and nick one, and the next thing you know, I've been sat there half an hour just going at giant. Oh, mate, they're
stick to your teeth, don't they?
Yeah,
sticks together in there.
Big one across your arm.
Have the spicy ones or normal ones?
Yeah, but I don't do this. They do spicy, but no, that's a bit too much for me. Steady.
I'll tell you a quick story about the spicy giant Watsits. The last time I had them, I bought a big bag from the service station after the infamous Brighton away, Mel Leaves Day. That's the last time I had that.
Mel Leaves Day.
It was 3:00 in the morning. I woke up, we're pulling over. I was like, yes, we're back. It's like, sorry, guys, we've got to do a service stop. The driver's over his hours. Like, no, please. The only thing, giant Watsits. I was like, yeah, go on then.
I don't know if it's a podcast or not, but I swear every time I open up social media, I see Mel Eves now. He seems to get everywhere. He seems to be fucking everywhere. He seems everywhere. Honestly, he's everywhere.
He's like the candy man.
Do not say Mel Eves in the mirror 10 times.
So say Mel Eves 3 times. He's going to appear in your bedroom. I don't know what it's about.
Telling you to shut up.
With a mic in his hand. Tell it.
Yeah. Thanks for the lovely introduction.
Jord, what's your favourite crisp?
At the minute, I seem to be eating with crisp wise salt and vinegar discos, grab bags.
Oh, discos!
I weren't expecting that.
They're that salty and like the taste. Yeah, literally. But I don't know. You go back for a bit more. Go back for more. So the petrol station over the road sells it from me, and they're the guys who were selling Prime and told me it tasted like metal. I did actually try a Prime as well the other day.
I had a Prime as well last week.
Yeah, so literally it was there on the counter. I thought, I've got to try this. £2.99. I thought, I'm going to have one. It was I think it was the Blueberry. I don't know what it was. It had a better name than Blueberry. I tried it. It just, honestly, I just didn't like it at all.
I went into Sainsbury's Compton and there was it was full. and basically they had 3 deliveries worth when they were only meant to have 1. So I tried the limited edition KSI flavour, and it was just like a Lucozade, man. Paid £2.50. I was a little bit disappointed.
Ridiculous.
But then I put a picture in the football team I coach. It's all they're on about the kids. Prime. They take Prime to football with them as a drink. And one of the parents from the other side of Willenhall texted me saying, "Where did you take that picture?" I said, "Compton." And she goes, "Oh, they're still there now." I said, "Oh, they're 10 minutes ago." She drove all the way from Willenhall just to buy a bottle of Prime. I was like,
I got told
they were all gone the next day.
One of my cousin's kids apparently now, like, they're going to school with empty bottles of Prime and put the water in a bottle of Prime.
Yeah.
Oh, mate,
I'm like, what is this about? Honestly, and like, yeah, it really did taste. It didn't taste like metal. I think that's a bit harsh, but it didn't taste good. Like the people like shattering afterwards. After I was like, I don't like this.
At Fulham, there were some kids that I met. Oh God, that sounds dodgy, but there were some kids that I met, and
there you go.
No one's listening to this.
To catch a predator.
It's his dad, isn't it? It's the kid's dad.
But then, God,
get your hands off more, son. Yeah.
You're not saying Millie using Finn Morris in a mirror 3 times.
No, but I'll finish the story so it sounds less dodgy. But they were showing me that they'd bought some Prime, and they said it paid £14 a bottle from the Tesco. Was it Tesco?
Oh my God!
No, it won't be Tesco. It won't be Tesco at 14.
No, they don't get it, do they? I've gone from the Astor across the road from Molineux. There were £2 for the red ones in there, but I haven't seen.
I picked one up in the Asda Queslip by me, and I thought, because I sent it in the group chat. Then I thought, you know what, I'm putting it back. I'm not succumbing to the marketing.
You definitely brought a creativity.
I've had a Prime tank installed, so if you just run the tap now, it's just meta moon running through the running through the gaff or whatever it's called. What's everyone's thoughts on pickled onion monster munch?
Yeah, mate.
I used to like them as a kid. Yeah,
top tier. I reckon they are. You know, them on a sandwich or something. Oh, you ever have a crisp sandwich?
I don't like crisp sandwich, but
do you know? Did we do this one before? I think where I sometimes have. It sounds really sad, but peanut butter and then salt and vinegar crisps, and it's like salted peanuts. Are
you pregnant?
I don't think so. But like, I know I just tried it once because I was running low on fillings. It's beautiful. Is that
so? You put peanut butter
great.
and salt and vinegar crisps.
Just try it. Like I was desperate. Like there was nothing left in the fridge,
thanks.
but they weren't in the fridge. But you know what I mean.
Pringles. What flavour are you going for?
Salt and vinegar.
Yeah, probably.
The cheese and onion ones.
The sour cream and chive.
Sour cream and chive.
Yeah. Absolutely super. I don't know if they still do them, and we'll close the podcast in a second. They're called Roysters. They're T-bone steak flavoured crisps in like a white and red packet.
Roysters.
Yeah, Roysters. I think they're called Roysters T-bone.
Oh yeah, I can see them, mate. They look like they were in a pub in Britain 1995.
They are absolutely outstanding.
Back in the day, after a swimming lesson on Saturday at the vending machines, Oinks, quarterbacks, Space Invaders.
Space
Invaders, yeah.
Oinks were the best.
I thought that cider you were talking about as well, Finn, the other week.
Which one?
That cider.
Oh, yeah. Did you try it?
No, I saw a Coca-Cola flavoured one. I was intrigued. I didn't buy it. No. All right. Sorry, everyone. You can finish now if you want.
Coca-Cola flavoured cider.
Yeah, it sounds good to me, but we move.
No. I do like these questions though. If anyone wants to send in any other questions that are a little bit more light-hearted, then as long as you're not being personal, because Finn's had enough this week. Oh, you'd froze them, but I just thought it looked like an upset. That's been a fantastic podcast, gents. Thank you again for your time. Dave, where can people wish to want to follow you should they wish to?
Yeah, it's at Dave as a Party on Twitter and Instagram, and Dave as a Party on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn did remind me that it's been 5 years in the last week that we started talking.
I had that email.
There we go.
Yeah.
I just had random people that I'm connected with. Dave, congratulations on your work anniversary. I was like, cheers, Kim. Never don't know who she is. Who? Kim Possible. Cheers, Bab.
Finn, where can people find you should they wish to follow you?
Just on that, by the way, Dave, have you heard Dave's newest song that he mentions Kim Possible? I thought I was the only person that used to listen to that. Watch that even. What a
No,
shame.
I've not listened to his new tune yet. No.
Well, it's not come out yet. It's called Adriano. It's on YouTube. It's sick.
Oh, yeah. I've heard the leaks.
Yeah, a little Kim Possible bar. But Finners, FINERRZ. If we win on Wednesday, there will be Dave Azzopardi featuring in the video as we're going down together. So if anyone likes him and not me, there's enough there to maybe watch. But yeah, thank you very much.
Jord, did you understand any of that about? Is it Dave, the rapper?
Yeah,
David.
I've stopped listening after Oasis and all, the good old
Jord
days.
listens to Rod Stewart.
Jord's still listening to Vera Lynn. the Forces Sweetheart.
Cilla Black on repeat.
Surprise. Jord, where can people find you should they wish to, mate?
So Jord was 7 on Twitter and Instagram, and obviously the LinkedIn. I actually did a post this week. I've stopped posting as much because Matt digs me out for it, but Finn will be impressed to know that I did a Last of Us inspired LinkedIn post.
Oh, did you? I didn't see it. I'm gonna have a look now after.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't dig you out for it.
Yes, you do.
That's his job.
Yeah.
That's his job.
So if you can link, I'll probably end up on the state of LinkedIn now. I've told Matt, we've got to look at this wanker.
The state of LinkedIn.
You've got to beat the algorithm. That's all I'll say with LinkedIn. You've got to beat
Who's
the algorithm. That's where you can find me.
I am M Cooper Writes on Twitter, Matt Cooper Bites on Twitter also, and TikTok, YouTube, whatever. We are talking Wolves across all socials, including LinkedIn. If you've liked the video, then hit the like button. If you're new here, subscribe, and let us know in the comments down below your favourite crisp, because we'd love to know. Until next time, hopefully we've got 3 points on the road, 3 points back at Molineux, and things are looking a bit more rosy again. But until next time, take care and see you later.